The newborn trenches, it is real. I am so excited. First of all, good morning. Hello. I probably look like I'm dying because not a lot of sleep was had last night. But honestly, I feel great. I don't know what it is, but the morning or the nights I actually get a lot of sleep, I wake up exhausted. And the nights where we're just like constantly up around the clock, I'm energized. Make it make sense. But I got this order in from Z Supply. Oh my gosh. This feels holy. Oh my gosh. I got this in like a week and a half ago. I literally, I just have not had the chance to open it up, and every time I think about it, something happens. So finally, oh my gosh, it's a matching set. Let us try it on. Oh my gosh, guys. I need this in every color. I don't even know what colors it comes in. It is the softest material, just a really nice pajama set, but a very comfy material, a very wintry material. Oh my goodness, I love it. These are the pants that I love, by the way, that I rave about all the time. The classic ribbed ones that are just so unbelievably comfy. I've never worn sweats that are as comfy. I will say you probably should size down. The ones I have now are a medium, and they're just a little bit loose around the waist. I normally wear medium to large in sweats, but these are a small on the bottom, and then this is a medium, just because it is a little bit oversized. I just turned the shower on because I'm about to hop in, but I've always been the type of person, I go to sleep and I lounge around the house in just an oversized t-shirt that I got 9 years ago in these big baggy sweats, and it just feels so good to actually have matching sets. I just feel so much more put together, especially in this stage of life where, let's face it, I'm in these all day. I would wear these all day today if they were clean. Obviously, I need to wash them still since I just got them out of the bag, but oh, they are so nice. I will link them below if you guys are interested. All right, I have less than 10 minutes to get ready, and by get ready, I mean I have less than 10 minutes, I need to be out the door in 10 minutes. So we are going to be getting ready at turbo speed right now, and technically, I don't even need to get ready. I'm literally going to the doctor, which we'll talk about in a second. I'm a little nervous. But I woke up this morning and decided, no, I want to get somewhat ready. Nothing crazy, but it's just, it makes me feel good on the days that I decide, right? It's not every day, but when I decide I'm getting ready, I am really going to make an effort to get ready. Same with even, from the day Decker was born, one of my non-negotiables was I am showering every day. I always heard it's hard and some people don't even shower with a newborn. And by the way, they are right. I was like, what do you mean? Just hop in the shower, put the baby down. First of all, if you're a mom, no, you're not just going to listen to your baby cry. So if you put the baby down and the baby cries, you're getting the baby. And it just so happens that in many cases, the baby will cry anytime you put him down. So anyway, I made it such an effort though. I'm we are showering every single day. Some days that shower was literally a 60-second soaker, and that's okay. It just was one of those things, I have to get in there and just put body wash on and whatever it's called, what's it called? Face wash. In case you can't tell, my brain still does not really work, but that is okay. And we are getting used to this new normal of my brain operating at 40%. But yeah, I do have a doctor's appointment today. They had me go to the doctor 2 weeks after giving birth. They said for severe tears, that's just what you do. And most pointless thing ever. Honestly, it's actually kind of annoying looking back on it. Literally, all they didn't even examine me or anything, which I was grateful for. Please don't touch me. That's not what I wanted in that stage. But then why did I come in? They literally were just how are you feeling? Physically. And I was I'm in a lot of pain. And then they were asking about how I was feeling emotionally or whatever. And that was literally it. And then they were talking to me about birth control, which I actually don't think I'm ever going to get back on birth control. I just, with my history and my PCOS and how, for lack of a better word, how messed up my body has been, I just don't think, I've actually been trying to do a concealer brush for this stage because I feel my beauty blender absorbs so much of the product, and we can't have that on the under eyes. I need as much product as possible there. But with my PCOS and just having problems with periods and all of that, the last thing I want is to get back on birth control. I'm just not doing it. But at this visit, it's all going down because not only are they doing the I guess they're gonna like examine and see like how things have recovered, how things are healing. But also it's just my like, what is it, like just my regular well visit. So we're getting the pap smear, we're getting all of that, which I mean at this stage a pap smear is nothing compared to what has gone on down there. But yeah, I'm guessing this is not going to be one of my favorite visits ever. We will see. All right, I made it out the door, and my ETA is 2 minutes before the doctor's appointment starts, which is great news. It's hard these days, but it's so weird, like, driving to this doctor right now and just thinking about all the times I drove here throughout my pregnancy, all the times I was so nervous, just hoping he would be okay, and I am, like, just so grateful. Like, it's so weird for me to think, like, Decker was inside of me, and I wanted him to be okay, and, like, I had no idea I would love him even more now. Like, it's just so crazy, and, like, he would be even greater than I could have ever imagined. Like, I don't know. Going to the doctor right now is just, like, giving me all the feels. It's crazy to me that I'm walking in there, like, not pregnant. I don't know. I'm in my feels these days. What can I say? I'm happy to say everything went well. I got a pap smear for like my wellness visit. It is so funny. I used to say like, oh, pap smears. Like, I mean, it's not like I really cared. I didn't dread them. Like, it was like, whatever. But I'm like, yeah, it's pain for, like 30 seconds, whatever. When I say I didn't even feel the pap smear, just after childbirth and all of that, my pain like scale is so skewed. Which I guess is a good thing. But everything looked good. All of my stitches are out. Like, she didn't take them out. They dissolved. So they just naturally were out, which I knew it. This is all TMI, but who the heck cares? You guys know I feel like I'm an open book at this point. I started feeling itchy. Like, I was in so much pain after birth for like 2.5 weeks. It was unbelievable. I could barely walk. I didn't know how I was gonna, like, I just didn't know how like life was gonna look, because it's not only that I couldn't walk, I also couldn't sit. I had a 3rd-degree tear, and then all of a sudden 2.5 weeks later, I felt like itchiness, and that must have been my body healing, and I feel amazing. Like, and I have felt amazing, and I'm so grateful. And it just goes to show, like, I just really hope this can make people not feel so scared. I had so much anxiety going into this birth because I knew if I had him vaginally, it probably was going to be a rough time, like just with how big he was measuring. And I looked at all these forums, and all the forums are like, this C-section recovery was the worst of my life. And then they were saying this severe tear, 3rd degree is considered a severe tear, ruined me, and I'm never the same again. And I'm like, I don't understand how we're going to get this baby out without me being like ruined for life. And listen, those are real experiences, obviously, but it's not the only experience, and like life can be okay. So I just want you guys to know that, because I wish someone was telling me this, that you can have a big baby or a big-headed baby, you can get a bad tear, and life can be okay again. So I'm happy about that, and this is a huge relief, and I'm so grateful. Like, if you asked me 2 weeks postpartum if this is the situation I would be in right now, I would say, well, how is that possible? And I don't know. And I think also a little tip for anyone who's like healing from a tear, for the first week, I did nothing, couldn't do anything, could not walk. And then once like a week hit, I started going on walks outside, and then I started going on long walks outside. The first walks were literally just like down the street and back to my house. I think that helps. I feel like blood moving to the area. I don't know. But I definitely think staying completely stagnant wasn't the answer. I had to like start moving in some way once I healed a little bit. Anyway, I don't know what the answer is actually, but I am feeling good. Time to go home, because motherhood is the craziest thing. I've been gone from Decker for an hour and a half, and I literally miss him. And I just need to be with him. Why is it that when I see other people wear matching sweatsuits, they look so cute, and then I put one on? Like, why does it not look like it does on other people on me? I don't get it. I've just come to accept that I'm not trendy. Never have been. Okay, but do you guys know there are so many people, like influencers I follow, where it's like, is that a cute outfit, or are they just really like fit and skinny and in shape? Because there are so many times where I'm like, oh yeah, she looks good. And then I like do a double glance. I'm like, wait, that's actually the ugliest outfit I've ever seen, but somehow she makes it look good. How? Because of Decker's cluster feeding ways in the evening hours, I've learned I have to start my like nighttime routine anywhere between like 4 and 4:30. Basically, my mom is downstairs with Decker. She normally leaves for the day around this time. And Oh, wow, that's interesting. I just saw on my eye cream, it said Cincinnati, Ohio, Procter & Gamble. I did know that. They are headquartered here. But anyway, so she has been coming over around noon and leaving around 4, which is like the biggest help ever. Like I don't know how I'd be able to do it without my mom. I really don't, and I'm so grateful. And yeah, so I know now, because I used to make the mistake, like I'm probably going to be on the couch all evening with him. It's just the way things are right now. It is not going to be forever. At least that is what people have been saying. It's this cluster feeding thing. But now I know, and I just know to prepare for that. And also, speaking of the fact that like I'm just never going to be one of those trendy girls, it's just not going to happen. For the longest time, postpartum, I don't know why I was doing this postpartum, was trying to do this slick back, but not even slick back, just basically a low bun. I was like, this is what everyone's doing, what all the cool kids are doing. Now that I'm a mom, it's what I have to do. I really don't know why I decided postpartum to do this. And every day I felt disgusting. Like I was like, but I wasn't putting it together. I was like, why do I just feel like not myself? And I know this sounds dramatic, that like a hairstyle can make you not feel like yourself, but guys, the high bun, it's just who I am. Like I am a high bun girl and I know it, and it's what's going to work for me. I understand it's not in style, it's not cool, it's not any of that, but it's what I have been doing since high school. Throwing my hair up on the top of my head, it makes me feel like me. And I've realized that. And I feel like honestly, if there's one thing I've learned with everything motherhood, you just got to find what works, and it's going to take time. And for example, like with the nighttime routine and how I need to get ready earlier, you just got to find your patterns, and every single person's is going to be different. Some people's babies might be more clingy in the morning, but Decker is an evening guy, and I've learned that about him. It's who he is. And I say it's who he is. The funny thing about babies is they literally change. Like you start to get used to something, and then boom, he's on a whole different thing. But I'm just along for the ride. This is grandmotherhood dedication right here. I don't think I have ever, as long as I've known you, like seen you on the ground, by the way.
Unless I was drunk. No.
Asher, stop. Asher.
It licked me in my eye.
Didn't you say you've never been drunk in your entire life?
I guess I have a high tolerance and I don't go crazy with it.
But that's so crazy. And I don't believe you also. How do you think Decker is different than me so far, or the same?
The similarities would be the Clancy appetite. So that means he'll be the little boy that when he's just the height of the bed, when you open your eyes in the morning, you'll get somebody that says, I'm hungry at 2.5 years old. I see a lot of similarities with Neil.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing.
Well, like most babies sleep throughout most of the day. He's awake almost the whole day. Same thing.
Neil is like that.
And I could see he's just looking at everything, very alert.
And Neil has a high IQ, so I wonder if we have a little genius on our hands.
Could be. And I realized that when we played that video back of Neil less than 3 years old, that he wanted to go home on Christmas and he was so mad. It was midnight and he wanted to play with his new train. And we said, we don't have batteries. He goes, we have batteries at home. They're the same size. Like, what kid understands the electronics and what size battery things take? The funniest thing about all of this, isn't there another side to his family?
What?
We're like, is he more like Neil or more like Clancy?
Oh, Zach.
Could there be any bit of Zach in him?
Well, it's funny. Each side is like, oh, I see. Like he looks like that. Like everyone like just is like wants to see him.
Right. Well, obviously you and Neil both had these blue eyes, but I bet Zach did too.
Zach had blue eyes too.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know till they're older what traits they get. They could be completely different from both of you.
What is he doing?
He's pointing.
Oh, and also, did you find for like 0 to 1 or 1 to 2 harder? 0 to 1 kids or 1 to 2?
1 to 2 is harder to when you have an infant, but you have to grab your other one out of doing something, or you're feeding your infant and saying, wait a second, why are things so quiet in the next room,
And then it's bad too.
Yeah.
But because a lot of people do say the shock of 0 to 1 made it harder, but...
Yeah, and I was working too, so it was very hard to get 2 children ready and out the door to your babysitters. And then it was so much easier when I had a babysitter come to our house.
Well, I was hoping you were going to say 0 to 1 was the hardest, and it only gets easier.
Well, there are times that, like, he could amuse you. You see in our videos how you play together.
Right now, it is 3:40 in the morning. I just did my second pump of the night. I woke up around, like, midnight, but somehow, some way, Decker has not yet woken up for a feeding tonight, which is, like, amazing. Obviously, I still need to wake up to pump, which I don't really mind. Like, it's just literally 20 minutes and then I go back to bed usually. But one of the annoying things is trying to figure out, like, when he is going to drink his milk and how much, because last night I had this bottle I left out thinking he was probably gonna wake up for a feed around like midnight, 12:30, 1 a.m. And now I have to throw it out because it is expired. You can't, there's like all these rules with breast milk. You basically can't let freshly expressed breast milk sit for more than 4 hours. And yes, I can use it for like a milk bath and different uses, but the fact that he can't drink it is upsetting. And my brain feels like it's gonna explode these days doing milk math, like trying to create like different bottles. Which one am I freezing? Which am I refrigerating? Which am I leaving out? This was from my pump earlier. I didn't get as much, but I don't know what it is. You make so much more milk during like, what time is it? I mean, it's 3:45, like during like this hour right here. And this is where things get good for making sure he's getting his milk. When people have asked if I've tried my milk, and duh, how could I not? Like, I need to know what my body is producing. It was way more sweet than I was expecting. Like, I could see why Decker goes crazy for it. I actually got a little clip of Zach the other night. Zach and I just passed around the bottle.
You think women drink their own breast milk?
I had to try one little, and for the record, we didn't pass around a full bottle.
She just drank this whole thing.
No, for the record.
Yeah, you did.
For the record, there's literally like this droplet left. I tried it, then
like 10 ounces left.
Slurped back down. It's like poor Decker's like not growing because I'm actually getting into the stash. What were your thoughts?
It was amazing.
Okay, it is the vibiest morning ever. Like, this is so immaculate. Actually, now it's immaculate. Are you kidding me, Zach? I didn't even notice you had this on. Guys, Zach is addicted to this movie. He has seen it maybe 94 times since we started dating. Like, what is it with this movie?
It's an all-time classic comedy. It's got romance. It's got jokes.
It kind of relates to us a bit.
Yeah, you're Marnie.
No.
Yeah, it's very similar.
It's about
you're Marnie.
It's about a dweeb.
You're Marnie.
It's about a dweeb getting the hot girl.
If you don't know who Marnie is, Google it.
Anyway, the vibes are great, and then also I just checked over here. These bananas, these ones in particular, are just screaming to be baked. I don't make the rules. We're baking, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 8:10, and we are baking. It's just life these days. Oh my gosh, full disclosure, that Cuisinart mixer I just used is for an upcoming sponsorship with Wayfair. Like, this video isn't sponsored, I just wanted to test it out, experiment. Life-changing. I don't know how I could ever go back to baking without it. It not only just made it so much easier, not having to hand mix and like really get in there, but also the consistency, like the dough was so good. I've baked these muffins like 1,000,001 times and I've never had dough with that consistency. And as for these muffins, they actually are like in a recipe book. Like, I don't have a recipe to link. I can link the recipe book though. My mom got it for me for Christmas last year and I love it. Dairy-free, egg-free, nut-free, really good for people with allergies. Even if you don't have allergies, it's really good to bring to gatherings so that you know it's like totally inclusive. A lot of people can eat the treats. Also, I'm trying out another sweat set today that I got last year, and same thing. Like, I enjoy it, right? Like, I'm enjoying it, but like, do I feel cool? No. That's the main problem, but it's fine. Decker's playing on his Fisher-Price playmat, which if you guys are soon to be moms or whatever, you're pregnant, you need. I know like people talk about like, oh, it's not the most aesthetically pleasing thing. Where is it? It's that right there. I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, it brings so much happiness and color into our room. I love it. And most importantly, he loves it. It's funny though, like all of the lights and like everything happening, like it's happening to the left, he's looking to the right. So he loves looking out the windows though. It's funny how like babies, you can buy all this stuff and like what they will actually enjoy. But he really does enjoy the playmat though. It has like things that hang down. It's just so worth it. And it was very inexpensive, I believe. But while I was playing on his playmat, I figured we could talk a little bit about the newborn trenches, which it's so not ironic, but it's like a cute name, like haha, the newborn trenches. The newborn trenches is like no joke at all. As I sit here with like my burp cloths, it's funny, we're coming out of the newborn trenches because they end when the baby turns 2 months old, so he's almost 2 months old. But yet, like, it's not like, you know, you hit 8 weeks and then suddenly like, oh my gosh, it's so much better. But it's just so much. And I feel like what's not talked a lot about, one of the hardest parts about the newborn trenches, it's not just like the adjustment period, right? It's like, at least for me, like going from like no babies to, oh my gosh, like this is like my world, and like that adjustment, but also the fact that the baby isn't really interacting with you. Like every day, like I'm just like, do you even know who I am? Like I can't explain it. It almost like, it just like now that he's starting to smile and look at me and like I can tell like he wants me to come to him, like he cries for me, it makes it just so much better. But the newborn trenches, I mean, the first week I feel like his eyes weren't even open, and I'm just like you're taking care of this like this thing that almost isn't even awake yet, like awake to the world. Like it's crazy. And obviously you're sleep deprived. The huge thing is like just finding your way, because I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe like we used to like not know we had to give him milk before bed, like in order for him to sleep. And I know some people don't like to do that because they don't want the baby to have like an association. I don't care. I'm gonna give him milk every night of his life if it's gonna make him sleep. And like it's so funny for me to think like so many things like we just didn't know, like different swaddles he prefers. The newborn trenches, it is real, because I was watching so many TikToks before I gave birth, like what is this like newborn trenches they talk about? Like it can't be that bad. I mean, the first weeks, like I'm talking plural, the recovery of birth, and not just physical recovery, but like the mental, emotional, like you were literally, at least for me, I cannot speak for everyone, I guess. I keep doing that. But for me, it's like I almost just wasn't myself, and I wasn't a human, like seriously, for that first week where I just, yeah. I guess the baby blues is a thing where you're just like sad for no reason. I mean, I distinctly remember sitting there and like being so upset because he was 2 days old. And I was like, time is flying by. Like, he's 2 days old. It feels like or was it yesterday? No, but like, it was 2 days ago that I gave birth. Anyway, I mean, that's insane, right? Yeah, at the time, like, I was devastated. Like, and I'm not, by the way, I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. Like, I literally was crying. Like, I was sad. I mean, I'm laughing about it now just because I'm like, that's so ridiculous. But in the moment, and it's like the weirdest feeling to like not even know why you're sad. You're so happy you have this baby, but like, you just feel all these weird things, and it's the hormones. What is it? I think it's like, after you give birth, it's like taking 100 birth control pills and then coming off it, or something crazy like that. And I can confirm, like, I felt that. But yeah, like, honestly, and don't get me wrong, it is still extremely hard and challenging, and new challenges await us just because babies change so much. You have sleep regressions and just different preferences. But now that we have the hang of it, like, now that we don't have a routine at all with this guy, like, at all. But now that we have, like, he's a part of our life. Like, it's so much easier because like we're getting in the swing of things. I'm just so careful not to say like we have it all figured out. We do not, in the slightest sense of the word. A lot of people do have sleep schedules by this point, but we do not at all. But it just feels so much like lighter, and just like we got this. Like that's how I'm feeling right now. Like we got this. Whereas there were a couple nights, because the worst feeling ever is when your eyes are literally shutting because you're so tired. Like there were times I literally had to go like this, and he's not going to sleep. So you obviously can't go to sleep. And I'm just like, how can I stay awake another minute? It feels really good to be in the place we are at right now. Honestly, like even the fact that I baked today, that's something I would not have been able to do last month at all. Like it felt like there was never, he's entertaining himself. I gotta go over and play with him. But like, it felt like there was just never a second to do anything except like literally be doing something for him. And it truly was like a 2-man job. Like me and Zach, we had to both be in it. Especially, one last thing, sorry, but a lot of people don't talk about, as for boys, they're born And then if you choose to circumcise, they have 2 major cuts. One is their belly button and like their belly button stump that takes like a week or a week and a half to fall out. And the other is his circumcision. That made things so hard. You have to change their diapers very often, put the Vaseline on. It looks so sore. It looks red. It's like, not scary, but like I was like worried. Like I don't want to hurt him even more. I was not warned about that. But anyway, now his belly button is a normal belly button and his circumcision healed and we are all good.